And hello everybody, this is Gamer with Opinions, Dentatus from War Alliance on 119, and we are back with another tutorial videos on how to build castles at low cost or high cost, depending on the type of player you are. So, following on what we said yesterday, we've covered pretty much all the basics yesterday for the castle building. Now, like you see, right now I have up to level 26. And this is where that's why I was explaining in the last videos the importance of upping those ups, right? So that you get a maximum of resources. And going into the talent tree, we'll go back to the talent tree, but I hinted that you should invest a lot in production at first, right? In production talents. And here's why. If you look at the castle upgrade requirement for the levels 27, you need a wall 1126. You need the academy here and the shieldsman barracks at 26. These two are behind when you go to 25 because there's a rush going to 25 because you want to unlock the T3s as fast as possible, right? So some of your barracks are left behind at level 20 or 21, which is the basic you need to unlock the T3s. So now you have to do massive construction on those, which is kind of my case. I was a bit ahead because I already planned for that, but still I do have catch up to do. That's a lot of resources. If we look at the barrack, let's look at the bowman's barrack for 26. You see the requirements just in resources alone. We're talking 2 million, 2 million, 1 million. That's a lot. That's a lot. So considering that this is your last upgrades, looking at the few upgrades still here, I still have 2 upgrades to do here. Here it's not as expensive with the academy, but still it is kind of expensive. So again, more resources are needed. That's why you need absolutely to build this. Use the bonuses that I've told you about yesterday in development. I recommend focusing on the acquiring and refining expertise. Use them when you go to sleep. Basically, they are long lasting. So that way when you come back to the game, your things are full and you can launch a few projects and stuff. But that's the way to max up your things here, plus investing in the talent tree. Now we're gonna talk a bit about this talent tree. So let's go into production first. Speedy construction is obviously the first talent that you want to push as much as possible. That'll speed up your buildings. Don't forget that when you start the game, especially if you did buy a few things like the starter pack, a good start, you will have bonuses to construction for that lasts for a week. This is to entice you to push your castle further and further, right? Even if you're not going to spend in the game, I really recommend spending $10 to buy 2 things because they are freakingly too good. The first one is the good start pack, which gives you an extra building queue. If you are going to do anything in this game, honestly, you need the second queue. Otherwise, it's such a grind. I've made tests, I ran figures and calculation. It would take me a year to build something that is decent on totally free to play style, like not buying a thing. That's a lot of investment, and I'm talking about a very active player, by the way, that is playing pretty much every day. That's a lot, too much investment. Anyways, you can cut the time by 50% with the double Q if you apply what I'm saying now. So you go and push the speedy constructions. You push your collecting talents. At first, when you are level 1 to 10, especially castle, and stuff like that. When you start researching, as soon as you can research, push first the production talent. You don't care about your military. You don't have anything to brag about. You're small. You're starting. Even if you are bigger, if this is not done, you will pay for it, because it will take either a very long time for you to get the resources needed to launch your improvements, or you're gonna end up spending lots of gems, those little babies here, for the materials. And this is the worst spending in the game. Spending on material in this game when they are farmed for free and they are free everywhere in the rewards. If you have to spend on those, it's because you didn't plan right. So, try to max them out. The extensions, you don't have to work, like I said in the last video, don't have to work as much on them, but you do have to work on them also, because those extend the talents of your buildings, your mines and everything, your quarries and your smelteries and stuff. So that's where you invest at first. You will be investing. I recommend investing once you have the talent pretty much maxed out. I recommend then going into the military so you can farm the gnomes easier and stuff like that. Don't care about losing troops. You don't care about having your power lowered down because you have troop ceilings and troops dead that you're retraining. It's part of the game. It's spending that you have to do to get further in the game. So now we have covered the basics to build the castle per se. So we're gonna go now into a section that everybody, of course, is waiting for and loves. The Hall of Immortals and the Immortals themselves. I'll start with the Hall of Immortals first. You get the little fragments here, a few days free. If you are an active member, you'll get more because they are rewarded in a lot of places. You get the full shards also as rewards. Basically, you can get yourself 9 stones a day if you play right. By being an active player and playing right, you can actually do that. Never, ever use the summoning stones here, the full summoning stones, unless you have 9. You are losing too much. The drop rate is improved when you go by 9s. And of course, don't forget ever that after a little cycle, you get a guaranteed elite or epic. That is plus the usual drop rate. It doesn't lower your drop rate. Like I have a picture somewhere of a drop where I got like 2 golden and so 2 full golden. I think no, 1 golden and 2 full purple. 1 drop on 9 because it was on the guaranteed summon, and I had a lucky drop. I had a 2 drop, so it made a 3 drop. Anyways, so never ever under 9. Moving on. Immortals. The Immortals. This is where this game is all played out. So there is another aspect to this game that is very deep, but this is one of the plays that you have to get yourself acquainted with very well and understand the interactions between the heroes and their talents, plus understanding the talents that you're picking to put on them and why you do that. That will, let's say, optimize your strategies when you go into the arena and stuff. So, we get water as a starter. Everybody gets water, all right? And water, honestly, it's not that good. It's kind of weak. It's a build that is easily defeated even if you have good commanders. So, and the main reason for that is there's two reasons. Your healers are not very good at dealing damage. If you take another type of avatar, another type like the wind type heals way better. So, well, it heals and is way better at dealing damage than the water. So, if you are looking for healing effects, it's wiser to invest in this long term than to invest in the water, water will help you level up and it will help you farm at the early stage, but don't invest too much in them. And once you get a really decent lineup, you can even disassemble your water line to get the components and boost your further lines. The choices I recommend, like every element, as you know, have counters and this and that, and we have the two outsiders as Shadow and Ollie, which they pretty much counter everything. I said pretty much. So, what I recommend first is Earth. Earth is the best element to start with to build a real powerful line. The heroes are easy to get, and like Leonidas, it's pretty easy to get, and it'll be even easier because there's an event coming. I'm sorry, just a second. Sorry about that, still have that cold. Okay, so Leonidas is easy to get. Alexander can be get free. So does Cleopatra, and they can be all up pretty easily in the market with fragments. Sorry again. Sorry, should it be okay now? And I invested in Zenobia. Got to invest in Zenobia when I reach VIP 6 and 7. And the why is that my fourth one was Constant, Isabelle. So Isabella, and Isabella's purple is not that good. She's a good buff debuff thing that's interesting in PvP in the arena, but multi-purpose wise it's not very good. Our Zenobia here gives us restore HP, which is what is sorely needed with Earth. Earth can tank, but really he has problem taking a punch. And so does Alexander. They are your front line. They are taking massive amount of damage. Your back row is not that bad though. So Earth is sturdy. So that is the main advantage of this build, and the other reason is the dragon. Earth Dragon will give you the stun right away from level 1, and his things improve as he's domesticated and he levels up. The Water Dragon, which is the main reason why water is not good, it's the other reason is that the healers don't do enough damage, but that could be fixed with another hero eventually. But the Water Dragon, you need to domesticate it before it's effective. So that requires a lot of level up and farming before you can even get there and do it. That's very slow. Your PvP is going to be slow, and plus you are doing all that to get a formation that is weaker. It's a lot of effort invested for not much. Still, you want to bring the dragon to 10 or 11, but you don't want to do that as a priority. As soon as you get the Earth Dragon, you start working on the dragon. As soon as you can acquire heroes, Earth heroes, you do. Pick your heroes wisely, of course. So this is what I recommend to start with, and use the water type. as the secondary attack or gatherer if you want. I recommend building the fire as the third one because fire is pretty dang good. Fire deals massive amount of damage once it's well built. It's actually probably the best option for attack. So I recommend strongly building fire, and it's not too much of a pain farming actually for the fire dragon. So it's, to me, it's a very good choice. Holy. I picked Oli simply because I opened these. I can't pass it up. Plus, I have this is my old Isabella that is going to get dismantled so that I can push this one, Joan, which is my third will be my third on the Oli line that I'm building. She is not bad, so she'll do while I'm waiting to get more Oli heroes. Oli, of course, because, well, it counters the element, so having a natural counter in your arsenal is one wise choice. The second reason, basically, is that, so you need also something to, just in case you encounter another Oli or Shadow player, you do need something to as a backup. So that's why I recommend going Oli, but you can go Shadow. Shadow deals massive amount of damage. It depends on the type of builds and the talents you're buying. Shadow with the proper talents, it deals massive damage. Holy with the proper talents have restorative capacity that makes you last long in a fight. So it depends what you want to do. What I recommend now also is that when you have your 4 lines, because of course I told 3 because you still keep the water line, right? You don't dismantle it yet. That's your 4th line. You should, by the time you have built 4 decent lineup, you should open your 4th formation. So what I advise is playing water on the walls. It's pretty good at defending the walls. Other option is your special one, the Oli or Shadow one that if you have built under a full resonance, it's not worth playing. Telling you right now. Also, don't forget to equip all your Immortals. That is the next subject, right? The Immortals. Well, we got the boosts that you get from the leveling up by equipping them with objects. You have to farm those through the Well of Time. Easy enough. Be wise about managing. Target who you want to raise first. Always work on your first lineup no matter what. When you are stuck in the Well of Time because you can't advance any further and you can't advance this because you don't get to farm the materials yet, then you work on your backup lines. Again, you work on, like you see, I have them but not that I. You understand? And I work on the fire almost as much. You understand? Because I want those two to be effective as well, as fast as possible. Because a castle has 3 marches, you want to use them all in attack. So anyways, I'm gonna come to that later anyways. So this is alright. This, you all know what it is. It's your leveling up by the fragments you're getting. Of course, you try to do that as much as possible, but don't go crazy in the market trying to up everything. It's a noob mistake. What you do is you recycle, and I will show you a bit later. You recycle everything to max out a few lines first. Once you have a castle that is working with attack lines working and everything, then you can start being a collector, play Pokemon, and have them all. But if you are starting on an endeavor to collect those, I see in your future thousands of dollars charged to your favorite credit card or debit card, just so you know. So, oh yeah, well, forgot the last little part, equipment. Equipment, if it's possible, work from purple quality, from blue quality and up to invest in them. Well, it doesn't matter if you can't, because you can't farm the right stuff. Like you see my Ashoka. My Ashoka is still using stuff that I used on my first lineup, my first water lineup. So you can reuse your things once they have no use whatsoever, because you got the good ones everywhere. You can recycle them as well. You'll be compensated fully for what you invested in them. So, well, close to fully anyways. There's always a loss ratio, as in any game. But it's very reasonable. Again, I'll stress that out. This game is low cost compared to many pay-to-win games like Lord Mobile, Gut, Winter is Coming, and so on and so forth. You can actually be a power player with $1,000 in this game. That's pretty low. If you look at the basic gut build that you don't get even noticed with, it's going to cost you $10,000. So, moving on. So, talents. I'm not going to get into the talents yet. Just be advised that you can't work on all of them. It's going to be too costly and too slow. So again, you have to pick and choose which talents are going to be best suited for your strategies. Another video will cover those. So moving on, last thing I'm going to do in this video, because it's dragging on a bit, but it's need to know. Refinement of Fragments. So as you see, I don't have much here because I recycled most of the stuff that I didn't want to use. Anything that I deem not interesting, and I mean this guy is not interesting to me, but I'm waiting to spend him, right? Even though I said win is very good, blah blah blah. So I don't like his stats. I don't think he is a very good investment, honestly. He is fun because you got lots of him free in the previous event, but that's about it. So I'd rather spend the fragments, and maybe one day it'll be good and I'll regret it, but you know what? I don't care that much. Alright, so as you see, all the fragments that I have is what I keep. That's what I'm working, right? This one, I don't really work on him, but hey, if I can lend him, it'd be an improvement for my water line. I'd take him. Since I keep this, I don't spend, of course. This one is spendable, so those two are spendable for me, for my build. So you have to make your own evaluation on the heroes you're going to ask. If you have questions about their talents, capacities, and stuff, leave question in the comments. For my fellows of War Alliance, get me into the Alliance chat or Discord, and I'll answer everything I can that you ask. Immortal Reborn, very sweet deal. Any Immortal you don't want to play, any Immortal that became useless because your lineup became way better, dismantle them, get back all the fragments, dismantle the fragments, and invest in your favorite archetypes. This is what this game is about, archetypes. Next video, I'll be covering that. So I've just introduced you to archetypes when I'm talking about fire, this and that and that. I'll go deeper into that and tell you about what an archetype is, why you choose one over another, and that there are many good archetypes, so it depends on your player personality, basically. So you have to pick the archetype that is best suited to your style of play, because we all have our style of play in any game that we move from game to game. that personal signature that we can almost tell. And this is the equipment that you get from the gnomes, blah blah blah. Recycle them as well. You get shards. Shards are needed. The green shards, they are needed to advance your equipment. So that's how you do it, and you invest that way. And that way you keep your cost pretty low, and you improve your castle. Next episode, like I said, I'll be digging more into the Immortals, more about their capacities, more about how we pick an archetype, what is an archetype, this and that. So anyways, this was Gamer with Opinions. Thank you for watching. You're a great crew, great crowd, and welcome to all the new followers. You can follow, like, subscribe, share. I'm not active on my other medias right now because I'm too busy building this and trying to help Lothar build War as a nice place. Any people that are on 1199 and that wants to join us, please apply. Send a message to Lothar or me, and we will evaluate if we can let you in. Our roster is pretty full, so that's that. So thanks again for watching. See you next time. It should be in a short while.